hope you're all doing really well. I wish I could have been with you in art centre this summer, but I'm going to show you how I paint a sunset over the bay from my home in Scotland instead. So I'm using acrylic paints on a little canvas, but you can use poster paints or watercolours, just anything you've got available. Start off by sketching the horizon. That's always the best place to start, and that guides you to where the things like the sun and the shoreline should be. So that's what I'm doing, just giving myself an idea of where everything in the painting will be placed. So think about the colours you'll need. So those are the colours that make up the sky and the bay. So pick them out and then start filling up the palette. So I'm starting with the sky, and even though it's a sunset, there's still blues, so I'm taking the lightest blue that I can and making that the base coat. So that'll be underneath everything else, and we'll be building the darker colours on top of that. So in the effort to create depth, we're taking darker tones of blue and using a light hand in the sweeping effect, and that just creates the fluffiness of the clouds. So for adding the sunset, I've gone in with the base of the red and then layering it up with the orange, and then it'll go up to the yellow. So you're starting off with the darkest colour at the bottom and then just taking it up a step lighter from there and just keep blending it out. And this is quite a long process, but the more you blend, the more seamless it looks. So after using the red, orange and yellow for the sunset, take a brush and go back in with the blue and the same technique you use for the fluffy clouds and kind of blend that in to give you more of a realistic look of how the night sky looks. So also after adding the sun, just the same thing with the sky, and that going in with a base layer just makes everything easier to blend afterwards. When doing paintings that have water, it's really important to remember that everything's going to be reflected. So this is just me laying the groundwork for the reflection of the sun, so just getting those yellow tones reflected in the water. I've laid the light colours on the right hand side because it's so much easier to build up, starting with the light tones, so that's what I'm doing here, and just using blues to gradually build it up and blend it together from the darker tones on the left. So just keep going back and forth with blues and blending them together with the reflections of the sun. And you can go back and just add little details like stronger reflections and colours or little clouds in the sky, whatever you feel like fits your image of the bay. So like both times before, I'm just taking one colour and going in with a base layer for the sand and just covering that whole area so that I can work up from here. At this point you could leave the sand like this looking blended, or you could go in with more detail. It's completely up to you. So now I'm going to take a couple of different colours such as like yellows or shades of green and brown, and just make little movements with my brush. It just gives it a bit of dimension and can make it look like there's footprints or seashells or anything like that in the sand. So now I'm just adding some details along the horizon, and you could add birds or sailboats or anything that reminds you of the bay. So this is the picture of the bay that I had, and this is my own interpretation of it. We'd love to see if you guys want to give it a go, or if you have your own pictures of the bay you want to try, or even if it's just a memory and you want to recreate it. So I hope I explained that all clearly. Hopefully you guys can give your own painting a go, and please let us know if you do, because we'd absolutely love to see them. So stay safe.